Hi, this is Rick Paris with Welcome to Conscious Reality Creator. Today I'm going to help you release the constraints of time. Because as you all know, time is money. You doesn't have anything but time. Time is all we have. I'm losing time. I don't have all these cliches about time are basically beliefs that you've installed about time. As in, we know without time, the current science model doesn't exist. Logic and reason doesn't exist without time. All equations include time because logic and reason requires time. So we want to release time and loosen up the bounds that we've put ourselves in around time. And so what I'm hoping for you to understand is time is loose. You want to make it looser. You don't want to make it so tight and so strong and so Father Time is always keeping time. And I'm trying to give you a way to let some of that go. So I'm going to give you a couple of techniques today too to actually learn to play with time. It took hundreds of years for people to turn time into a linear construct. Time used to be cyclical. It was the seasons went around and it was different all the time. It was an ever expanding experience, but it wasn't linear. People didn't tell you, let's do this next Wednesday at this time of day. That's not really how they functioned. They would function in a more circular manner, right? So it wasn't until like halfway through the 17th century approximately is when time actually got linear. Because time is an illusion. Science and religion created time. Science wanted time in order to make sense out of everything. In order to show logical progressions, you have to include time. Time is in physics equations, time is always a factor. Time doesn't really exist, so you're creating a factor actually to make sense out of logic and reason. You're creating something that doesn't exist in order to make sense out of a mindset. So religion did it because people didn't have a concept of the future either. There was no future. But religion realized, well, if you can create a future for somebody and you can convince them of something, you can control them now. So by saying Jesus is coming, God's coming back here to clean house eventually. I mean, how many times in your lifetime, in your parents' lifetime, in your grandparents' lifetime was Jesus going to be here any minute? Any minute now. Any minute now. And of course, he's never come. So, but many generations have been massively controlled by time. So it's an easy control mechanism. So science and religion both agreed, yeah, let's do this thing. We needed that to happen. So I'm not saying, oh, fuck those guys. Those guys screwed us. They manipulated. They should never done that. No, you had to do that because in order to be more self-authored, you have to remove yourself from enchantment. Human beings started from ground zero with everything else here. And it's been an evolutionary process, a cyclical evolutionary process. In order for me to understand that process, I have to cut, just like you're cut in your umbilical cord, you're cut emotionally, you're cutting yourself, releasing the past all the time in order to gain more understanding. The way reality operates is beliefs transmute into emotions. Those emotions move into the imagination, and the imagination transmutes reality. There's no time in between those things going on. So if you're locked into there's only time, and I have a strong belief that time is a real thing and all I have is time, you're not going to be able to function outside of time. And again, logic wouldn't exist. Like, where is my history if I don't have time? Where are my memories if I don't have time? The truth is you don't have memories. Memories are a function of your imagination. If I were to ask you something about the past, you actually have to go in, remember, in Latin means to go back and put together. I put it together and then I speak it. You really don't have a past right now. You have now. You also have the future, which motivates the now. So time is really important when you're trying to create reality, because going through from taking my beliefs to my emotions to my imagination to reality takes no time at all. Belief is the biggest inhibitor to you and what you're accomplishing. If I have a belief about time, that's the inhibitor. The belief is the inhibitor, not time itself. So you want to start understanding time is just something that is just I'm using in order to see how I'm doing in a time frame. Like if I say I want something to happen by next week and I'm trying to manifest and it doesn't happen next week, now I can look at, well, that was the line in the sand that I made and I wasn't able to do it. Now I can process and figure out how to do it better. To use time as an ally rather than an enemy. But you have to understand that it's an illusion. You have to understand it's just a belief that I've adopted. So I can let that go and I can use time wisely. There's an exercise to understand how fluid time can be. And what I tell people to do is if you have a full day, you write down, you literally write it down. Don't think about it. Write it down and go, I need to do the dishes. If I do that at 8 o'clock, how long is it going to take me to do it? 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes. Then I'm going to get ready for work. That's 30 minutes. You literally write everything down and the time it's going to take for you to do them. And then you just go about them. What's going to happen is you've already laid down what you have to do and what you think it's going to take. And since really time isn't there, you forget about it. Now that you've committed to it on paper, you actually forget about the time and then you go about your business. And what will happen is you'll get it all done in less time. You'll get it all done early because you're not thinking about time at this point. You're just doing what I'm doing. And since I wrote it down already, I'm committed and that's really in essence a commitment that I wrote it down and I really made it happen. You will inevitably be left with additional time at the end. And so that's just a little exercise that you can do just for fun, and it's actually quite helpful, that exercise as well. The reason, like most of you can probably recognize that it appears that time is speeding up. The months are going by faster than ever, the days are going by faster than ever, the hours are going by faster than ever. What's actually happening is the way that you feel time is how much information do I take on in the course of a space of time. So if I take on, like I said with healing, you compress the 6 weeks into a moment and that's the same thing. It's the same energy quicker. So what's happening is because you're waking up, you're becoming more conscious. So what's happening, your thoughts and emotions are creating reality faster than they used to. And so what that looks like in feeling is time is speeding up because I'm taking on more information in a faster way all the time. So it feels like, wow, everything's going by so fast. Just today I was like, oh my God, it's the 12th. I haven't got used to writing 9 down on dates and it's already almost halfway through September. So the feelings that time is speeding up is actually something to let yourself know you're growing and changing. You are evolving. You're in the middle of evolution. Time doesn't evolve. Time is a static structure that we've designed. Well, we haven't designed it. We've adopted a design from others, but you are utilizing time that way. So it's about understanding it's a belief construct and I have to loosen up with it. And as soon as you loosen up with it, you become a much more powerful. I like power. I'm always about power. Let's just say that right now. But you will be more powerful. And when you can play with time and you can have get time and slow time and speed time, it's actually very fun. It's a very fun thing to do. So go out and have fun with time. Don't be all inhibited by time and anxiety around time and worried about what time. I don't have time. You have all the time you need to do everything the way you want to do it, exactly the way you want to do it. The more emotionally you can just take your time and do what you want, you will still be on time.